Minnesota Vikings currently have 4 quarterbacks on the rooster. Kirk, Jerome, Ezekiel Cousins, Sean Mannion, Jake Browning, cool, as well as Nate Stanley. And we've talked about ad nauseum, mainly pissing and moan all about it all offseason, that the Vikings should add at least one more to the name, potentially roster 5 quarterbacks. Yes, that does sound weird, but the Vikings are already putting 7 players on the COVID reserve list. When it comes for the quarterbacks, if it comes for the quarterbacks, what are they going to do? Right, so you need as many competent, potentially confident quarterbacks in your sphere as possible, whether that's on the 53-man roster, whether that's on the practice squad, whatever. So the Vikings should add at least one more body, and why not get a quarterback who has familiarity with Vikings offensive head coach Gary Kubiak? Yeah, that's where we're going to call him from now on. So 3 former Gary Kubiak quarterbacks that the Vikings need to sign right now. Right meow. Right. So number 1, coming out of the gates hot, Brock Osweiler. Yeah, we said it. 7 foot tall, Pokemon emoji dude, 29 years old, 6'7", 240. Last played for the Dolphins in 2018. And yeah, Brock Osweiler has become a punchline, a laughingstock in the NFL. Probably won't play another down in this league again. But, before you laugh, when Gary Kubiak won a Super Bowl, he's got the ring, kiss it, back in 2015. Now, it wasn't all Von Miller and Wade Phillips' defense, but it was a lot of that too. And it wasn't all about dragging the corpse of Peyton Manning across the goal line, pun intended, right? A lot of it was Brock Osweiler. He played 7 games, started 7 games, went 5-2 as a starter, played pretty okay football, or at least the best football of Brock Osweiler's career, at least as good as he's capable of. Had 86.4 quarterback rating, highest PFF grade of his career that season, and also it got him that monster Texans contract. He was just like, it's all in, right? Now he's been on a decline ever since, but you could say maybe he hasn't played as well since then because he hasn't had Gary Kubiak around. Would make a lot of sense. In terms of just a league minimum backup, if poop really does hit the fan and Osweiler hits the field, you're not feeling great, but also you don't have that empty pit in your stomach. Maybe you do a little bit. Next up, quarterback number 2 with familiar to Gary Kubiak, the Vikings need to sign, Trevor Siemian. Yeah, that guy. 28 years old, former Vikings quarterback, was a backup in 2018. And after Gary Kubiak won a Super Bowl with Brock Osweiler, he turned to Trevor Siemian, who was a 2015 7th-round draft pick out of Northwestern. Backup on that Super Bowl team, was named the starter in 2016, Gary Kubiak's final season as head coach, starter and captain, by the way, as well as Siemian's final season was 2017, and when Gary Kubiak moved upstairs, was senior administrative assistant personnel advisor, something with John Elway, and he was the guy. He was the guy in 2016, team captain, went 13-11 as a starter over 2 seasons, was eventually traded to the Vikings for swapping of some late-round picks. I thought he was a perfectly fine backup. I think that he is a future head coach. I think he's very cerebral in the way that he approaches the game, and frankly, beyond being the 5th quarterback on the roster and potentially emergency quarantine QB, if he was tossing in his 2 cents as an assistant to the regional quarterbacks coach, a la with Clint Kubiak, who was also in the building at the same time as Trevor Siemian, why not? It does make some sense, right? And also, as long as his ankle checks out, because he signed with the Jets 2019, saw a bit more of an opportunity there behind Sam Darnold as opposed to behind Kirk Cousins. But then the season was ended after 1 game because Myles Garrett threw a cheap shot at him, tore some ligaments in the ankle. But if he's fine, if he's good to go, a league minimum, why not? And lastly, you know what we're doing. Number 3, Kyle, Jerome, Ezekiel, Sluter, right in the heart. It's right there. And you could say, yeah, maybe we're obsessed. A lot of the fan base is obsessed, and maybe we're just tilting at Windmills Hill here. But this makes a lot of sense. Gary Kubiak was senior personnel advisor, there we go, nailed it, in Denver in 2017 when they brought Kyle Sluter in as a UDFA out of Northern Colorado. He lit up the preseason 2017 for the Vikings, so much so that the Vikings signed him to a massive signing bonus to put on the practice squad there. And also, same thing, history repeats itself, 2018, 2019 with the Vikings, is just 26 years old. And frankly, if Zimmer can put aside his absolute hard-on vendetta against good old number one, I think it does make a lot of sense. It gives the Vikings an extra option, extra potentially competent option at quarterback, as well as, I mean, who cares if Kirk Cousins is looking over his shoulder? I mean, Kirk Cousins, he signed that 2-year fully extended, fully guaranteed extension. So he has nothing to worry about. So what? You have a quarterback number 5. You have 3 other backups besides him. Who really cares? But Kyle Sluter in the building, gives the fans a little bit of hope, has familiarity with Gary Kubiak, could pick up the scheme, could pick up the verbiage rather quickly, and put him in quarantine. Have him be isolated. Have him be the absolute emergency if poop hits the fan quarterback in waiting, and let it go. Let's ride, right? So like I said, Vikings currently have 79 men on the active roster as opposed to the 87 since Michael Pierce opted out, as well as they have 7 on the COVID reserve list. So bringing in one more quarterback body. Hell, the quarterback can even stay at home, right? Since they are the emergency quarantine quarterback, all they have to do is check in on Zoom meetings, team meetings, position meetings, whatever, and they can stay wherever they're staying. Like Kyle Sluter can stay in Georgia. Brock Osweiler can stay in Montana. Trevor Siemian can stay wherever Trevor Siemian stays, probably some cryo lab deep in the mountains somewhere. So let that happen. Just have it be paper on the roster, and if stuff really does not go great, we'll call you in. You have the bullpen phone. Do that. And the fact that they all have experience with Kubiak makes a lot of sense. Too much sense. That's why Spielman probably won't do it, even though we know that he watches this channel. Give him the heater, Ricky. All right, so your thoughts and our thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. You know what to do. Skull, production value.